What up? It's Shadzilla back with another episode of Run the Play.
For Rashad-Jennings, left-handed hook shot is cooking. Saigon Heat just having no answer for Rashad-Jennings.
Let's get into it. So this episode is my 5 rules for flipping a house. Everything that I'm telling you is through trial and error. It's not something that I read in a book. It's not something that was told to me. I learned it from practical experience. I learned it from being on site. I learned it from actually going through it. First things first are the 5 rules of flipping a house. These are my 5 rules. You don't have to adopt these. I'm giving you this for what I look for in flipping a house. You can adopt it if you want. I would never, ever again do a home renovation that's more than $80,000. Unless we're doing like $1 million, $500,000 homes, anything under $400,000, I'm not doing an $80,000 renovation to. I would rather just build a new house. What brought me to that conclusion in my buy box was I actually did a renovation that was like $140,000. Ended up being like 160, 170, 180,000, and that's no fun. Having to come out your pocket and you don't have it in your budget within your draw schedule, and you got to come out your pocket, 20,000 here, 20,000 there. It's stressful, and I'm here to tell you that so you don't have to go through it. Now, this deal will still be profitable, but I learned a lot in this deal. Because when we started opening up the walls, it was a triplex that we were scaling back down to a single family. So we had to reframe the entire house. We hired the wrong contractor at first. He couldn't get it done. So all of that wood that was triple the price, a lot of that stuff could be reused, but a lot of it couldn't. So we had to buy wood 2-3 times. It was a mess, man. And it was like, you know what? Building a house is much more easier. So other than a cosmetic flip, anything 50,000 and less, 51 through 79 is the gray area. Like, that's on a case-by-case basis. 50 and below is where I want to be. I want to do cosmetic flips. Put some paint on it, some lipstick, make sure the major systems are working right, dress it up, make it nice, move on. I don't want to be in there like in a historic house that need major restorations. Like this particular house that made this #1 on my list, it needed new foundation, a new porch, a new roof, new siding. I'm naming all the major systems. Of course, new water heater, new HVAC. We actually had to take the second floor off and build a new second floor. Then we had to get an engineering report to make sure that that was sound to satisfy the city inspector. It was just a lot going on, man. It's a lot going on. And I'm like, man, it's much easier deals out here to get. And, you know, I'm what I would call a seasoned investor, and it's a headache for me. Any newbies out there, I'm just trying to save you the stress. This is my buy box. Anything over 80,000 in renovations, I'm not doing. I'm finding another deal. That's why you got to keep your pipeline full. So I won't do a deal that's over 80,000 renovation, and the net margin, net, not gross. This is a real net, like the list of items all the way down to the porta potty is on there. All your expenses are accounted for. The realtor commission, holding costs, everything. Everything is in there, and I'm still making 60,000, and that's worst case scenario. That's worst case scenario, 60,000. Of course, we want more than that. So that's the bare minimum that I have in my buy box. A lot of investors, period, they go wrong at because their expenses are wrong from day one. So now your numbers are wrong from day one. Like if I gotta order a porta potty, man, that's 90, well, I don't know what y'all paying. If I'm paying too much, let me know in the comments. I'm paying $93 a month for a porta potty. I'm paying holding costs, 1% of whatever my hard money is. Everything has to be accounted for, or your numbers are skewed. You got a false sense of security. I can pencil whip a deal and make it seem like I'm gonna make $100,000. But if the numbers are wrong, you just in for a rude awakening at closing. Because that attorney gonna cut that check of what the numbers actually are. And your out-of-pocket expenses are your out-of-pocket expenses. My second rule for flipping a house is I need to make a minimum net of $10,000 per month on average while I'm on site. So if the flip is gonna take me 5 months, I need to be making at least $50,000, which is $10,000 a month net, not gross. If I can make $50,000 in 2 months, that's great. I'm hopping on that deal every time. But let's say if I'm making $50,000 and it's gonna take me 8 months, I'm not doing a deal. Nope. I think that's about $6,000, $7,000 a month. It's not worth it. it's not worth it to me. I wouldn't tell that to a newbie getting in the game, because what I would tell a newbie is, even if you break even, that's a win, because you got a completed deal on your resume. You got experience that's gonna give you some confidence. Now you look better to the hard money lenders. So when you go in for the next one, you probably get a little better rate because they're familiar with you. So it's so many other intangible positives that come from actually completing a deal. Now, I won't tell you to lose on the deal, but breaking even is a win. Just getting in the game is a win. Once you're on your 10th deal, nobody's gonna remember your first, unless you got some private money lenders that didn't get paid back. Now, when I say break even, I mean you done paid your lenders back and you just didn't get paid. Let me be clear on that. If you're gonna be out here taking private money, people's savings and stuff like that, you need to have some integrity about you to where it's like, man, my folks can't lose money on a deal. That's how I am. My people can't lose money on a deal. For one, I'm gonna underwrite a great deal. For two, if it come hell or high water and I lose money on a deal, I'm knocking on this fucking plastic desk, I'm gonna come out of my pocket, because that lifelong relationship with that lender is gonna go way farther than what I'm gonna have to come out of my pocket and pay you and keep you whole. I always tell people that, man, this is a relationship business. Once you got some smoke on your name, you ain't gonna be able to shake it. So just do right by people. Don't take the money if you don't know what you're doing. JV with people. Get your reps up. Get your reps in. JVing with people, shadowing people. You probably won't even get paid on the first one. You probably only get paid a little bit on the second one. But once you get this game, nobody can ever take it from you. You can run with it. You can do this business for years and years and years. So what I'm trying to tell you is, do what you gotta do to get in the game. In the beginning, it don't need to be about money. You need to be learning everything you need to learn about real estate, about flipping a house. All right. So my third rule for flipping a house, it must be profitable day one on the purchase. I know you're saying, what you mean by that, Rashad? Shadzilla? What you mean by that, Zilla? Well, what I mean by that is, I need to be able to buy this house at such a discount, 20, 30%, 40%, 50%, that if I don't flip it, I can basically put it back on the market and mark it up to what, the market value is, and I'll be in the green. Flipping it is basically a bonus. Like this is how I roll. I know you probably ain't heard this before, but this is how I roll. My deals have to be profitable day one. I'm doing a deal right now. I'm buying it from an estate. They had it on the market for $290. I got it under contract for $230. $235. I got it on the market. I got it under contract for $235. We're still waiting on the estate to figure out some stuff. But as soon as it clears, I can close on that property. Now I'm gonna flip it. The ARV is $375. I can put it back on the market for $250, $260, make 20 grand. But I'm gonna flip it. So that's what I mean by it has to be profitable day one. I'll tell you, this one house I'm doing, the big restoration house, the one that had the $160,000 renovation that I'm doing. I lost $40,000 the first month of that deal, hiring the wrong contractor. We still gonna be profitable. You know why? Because the spread was over $250,000. Now I'm not gonna make $250,000 no more. But we still gonna probably clear around 200. We bought it for $135, $160,000 renovation, and it's under contract now for $490. So we got a pretty good spread in there. Initially, I wanted to sell it for $525, but after all this fucking headache, I was just like, look, I'm finna put it on the market. The house ain't even finished yet. I'm gonna put it on the market, $485. I'm taking the first offer, and I end up getting the offer. I'm representing the guy. So we basically saving 6% on realtor fees because I'm representing the buyer and I'm the seller. So that's 6%. 6% on $500,000 is $30,000. So we basically got that $40,000 back just by me being a broker, getting that deal done. Real estate, man, is all about being a problem solver, man. We could have folded when we lost that first 40. People telling me, man, if I was you, I'll just sell it. People offer me to buy it as is. I'm like, nah, I'm getting this 200 out this thing. My fourth rule of flipping a house is that I must get an infinite return. When I say infinite returns, mean my returns are infinite. I don't have any money money in the deal, so whatever comes out the back end is all profit. And the way I do that is my capital stack. I find a hard money lender to acquire the property, and let's say my hard money lender wants me to bring 25% to closing. I'll find a private lender to fund that 25% and to start the first wave of construction. Because with the hard money lender, let's say if I got $20,000 to start the construction, right? Once they come out, check the work, they give me my $20,000 back. Then I start on the next phase. They come out, check the work, I get that $20,000 back. And when you just rinse and repeat until you're done with that deal. That's definitely how I do it. My capital stack is I have my private money lenders and I have my hard money lenders. And my hard money lender currently has 100% financing right now. I'll put the link down below. I don't know if they do all states. They're pretty widespread. I don't think they do any crazy states like New York or Cali or anything like that. But yeah, so that's how I do it, man. 100% hard money loan, private lenders. I pay everybody back and I keep the spread, and that's factored in my underwriting. So that's kind of how I do my capital stack, to where I don't have to put any money into the deal. Zero. I don't put any money into the deal. People always say, well, how can people trust you when you don't got your own money in the deal? Man, my capital is my intellectual property. Actually knowing how to do this deal. I don't mind putting money in the deal, but that's just not my strategy. I use my money for operational costs. When things come up, sometimes things go over budget. Like I said, I got to go inside my pocket. Like I need to have cash available. I need to have access to capital to fix whatever problem that comes up, because it's not if they come up, it's when they come up. Now, when problems come up, it's not time to cry, pout. You know they're coming. You just don't know when they're coming. So just be mentally prepared, man. A lot of this stuff is mental. I do not let anything get me down. I'm a problem solver. Anytime something comes up, I figure out a way to solve the problem. So yeah, my fifth rule for flipping a house is comp. I base my ARV, my after repair value, off the lowest comp. The reason for this is I want the worst case scenario. Is the deal profitable at the worst case scenario? Because if the deal is profitable at the worst case scenario, and of course I'm shooting for the best case scenario, just because I'm using the lowest comp on my underwriting, on my pro forma, I'm basing it off the highest comp in the area. But I don't want you all to get confused with that. On my underwriting, this is called stress testing a deal. This is me putting all the worst case scenarios together and the deal is still profitable. That's a green light. And once you do that, of course, when you list it, let's say the lowest comp is $200,000 and the deal is still profitable. I'm still gonna make my $60,000 net, but the highest comp is $270,000. The highest comp is $270,000. I mean, that's what I'm listing it for. But for my underwriting, you want to stress test the deal to the worst case scenario, so you can still be profitable even on the worst case scenario. That's my 5 rules for flipping a house. I have a little bonus here for you, when it comes to renovating and hiring contractors and stuff. So here's my bonus for y'all. If you have a steady crew, that's great. Keep your crew and always be adding different pieces. If you're subbing out work, you always need to have at least 5 of each sub. You need to have 5 framers, 5 electricians, 5 floor guys, 5 carpenters, 5 plumbers, 5 roof guys. If you build a new construction, you need to have 5 people that know how to do the foundation. I do a lot of deals, and you would think, now this would be common sense, but in the world of these contractors, now I don't do blanket statements. So if anybody contractor walking this, don't be I'm not like that. This is my experience. I do a lot of deals, and you would think that a contractor would latch on with somebody who pays on time, who keeps them busy, and who's ethical and does business the right way. I have yet to find a contractor to do that. Like, no matter how many deals I have lined up, they always gonna stray away. Somebody always got another check for them. I got a deal over here. I'm doing and the thing about it is they're never gonna tell you no. Well, I'm not gonna say, like I said, it's not a blanket statement, but most contractors aren't gonna say, no, I'm booked up. They're gonna take your job, they're gonna take your deposit, and they're gonna make you linger. And you kind of stuck with them because you got your money with them. This is what I had to learn. I had to go get this game. Be ahead on work, behind on payments. If you're not willing, as a contractor, if you're not willing to be ahead on work, behind on payments, we can't work together. Because I know my money good. Is your work good? I know my money good. All my checks is clearing. Is your work good? Can you pass the inspection? I had a framer fail a framing inspection 5 times. I'm like, you're a framer. This what you do. What's up? I need to goddamn frame this motherfucker. Like, seriously, like 5 failed framing inspection. I'm gonna do a video on that, matter of fact. I'm gonna show y'all I'm not capping. I'm gonna go to the house and I'm gonna show y'all all of the 5 inspection tags for the framing. 5 failed framing inspections, and you call yourself a framer. Man, so it's some characters out here, boy. So look out. Like I'm here, I'm coming to give you the real, man. I'm coming to give you the real. I'm just telling you, like it's not all bad, but it ain't all good. You gotta watch folks. You gotta hold people accountable. And when dealing with these contracts, man, these contractors be ahead on work, behind on payments. When I say behind on payments, I don't mean like owing people. I'm saying like upfront, structure it to where, hey, look, soon as you pass the inspection, you get a check right then. Not before. Soon as you pass your inspection, the city inspection, you'll get paid. And that's if you're going through all the permits and stuff. Sometimes you do houses that don't need permits. So you need to be able to go in and make sure stuff is done properly and have that eye for it, or have you an inspector on hand. He's probably gonna charge you an inspection fee every time he come out. So just make it to where he come out probably 2 to 4 times throughout the project. It's gonna cost you a couple $100, but it's gonna give you a peace of mind that things are done right. Because an inspector's job is to find shit wrong. That's their job. So you have an inspector on your team to come make sure the contractors have stuff that's sound, because you're gonna either pay for it now, or you're gonna pay for it by redoing it, or you're gonna pay for it when you put it on the market and the buyer's inspector come and tell you to fix it. So you're gonna pay for it one way or the other. So you might as well make sure, and it's hard, once people are paid, it's hard to get them back out on site. They not coming back. 9 times out of 10, once they get that check, man, that motivation just leave. I'm telling you, once they get that check, it's hard to get them back on site to come fix stuff. So I hope all that was helpful, man. If you got any questions, drop them in the comments. I'm answering everything myself right now. So, talk to me, I'll talk back. I just drew the play up for you. That's 5 rules for flipping a house. I hope one of y'all flip y'all first house pretty soon. It's on you to run the play. Holla at me.